This one's a weird one. It's a weird story, but it's also got some weird character proportions. I think this episode is where characters being off-model peaks. I'll get to explain that soon enough. I guess this is where one of the season 1 stools ended up.
I can't believe it's finally my birthday.
You know, in case you didn't read the title card, and missed the balloons, and the banner, and last episode, and everything else in this episode that hints toward today being Steven's birthday. Thanks, Steven, for spelling that one out. Cue the Simpsons clip.
What an odd thing to say.
You're sure it's okay we're taking a break from the drill?
Peridot will keep us on schedule.
This episode also has weird placement. That clock is still ticking in the background, but at least the episode acknowledges it instead of pretending that there isn't a world-ending threat looming over everybody. Man, where can I buy a Peridot face balloon? That's sick. I just don't think physics would allow it to stay in that triangle shape unless it was one of those aluminum ones.
We should celebrate your progress. You've grown a lot this year.
He certainly has.
Well, not physically. That's what this episode is about. But between the end of season 1 and now, Steven's grown emotionally. I used to complain all the time about Steven being mostly insufferable in the beginning of season 1. I can't remember the last time I even brought up Steven acting childish or anything. He's still a child, of course, but he's much more bearable as a protagonist.
Yeah, I guess so.
You think Greg would have a cooler sounding horn in the van? If it were my van, I'd get a new horn about the same time I got it painted. Or is it wrapped? Is the van painted or wrapped? Debate in the comments. Connie's the most off-model character in this episode. An image I see people post from time to time is this one. How does this happen? Actually, I know how. This show didn't have model sheets that span the whole series. They'd make new model sheets for each episode, especially when characters needed new designs or outfits. Some people say it's not a big deal, but I find it incredibly distracting when characters look this ridiculous.
I'm surprised your parents are letting you stay for the weekend.
It wasn't easy.
Connie stayed overnight before, right? Maybe not camping. Am I wrong? Has she not stayed at Steven's house overnight? Maybe not. She's been in Beach City on back-to-back days, so my mind wants to put those pieces together. Also, I like how Connie's parents are simultaneously giving her more space but still being ridiculously overprotective. I like Greg's shirt. It makes me think of Wii Sports for some reason. No notes, I just like that shirt. Actually, fuck it, I like that shirt so much I'm gonna put it on my 4th wall so I can buy it for myself. And so can you, link in the description.
Okay, Schnewball, let me get a look at you.
Dad.
This is definitely out of character for Steven. When has he ever been embarrassed by his dad? Steven always acted like his dad was the coolest person on Earth, even more so than the Gems.
Steven, you're 14?
Steven's 14. If we time travel back through the show, I'm pretty sure he starts the show at 12. You can kind of estimate for yourself based on how the seasons pass. The show's first few episodes are in spring. I can tell that from a passing remark in Lars and the Cool Kids. Then summer in Mirror Gem, then winter in Winter Forecast and Maximum Capacity. Fast forward all the way to Nightmare Hospital, Connie says she didn't need glasses for a year, and now Steven's 14. 2 years and some change has passed since the beginning of the show. I told you I should rename this series to Chronology.
Let's see, we have infant, baby, toddler, what's it called, adolescent?
When Greg skips over some years, you can see he's turning more than one page. Nice detail for only showing up for a couple frames. Unnecessary, but appreciated, as usual. Fact 1. Greg didn't lose his hair until Steven's 3rd birthday. Fact 2. There's a photograph of Greg and Rose Quartz where Greg is already bald. Conclusion? Greg took a hot dog selfie in front of the painting of Rose Quartz in Steven's house. I've been holding on to that headcanon forever. Now I finally have evidence to prove it. It's not a continuity error because that would not be as funny.
What's it called, adolescent, 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 adolescent. Whoa, looks like you stagnated there a little bit, buddy.
If Greg didn't open his stupid mouth and say this whole episode wouldn't have happened. And before we get to the rest of the episode, this is pretty normal. Some kids just stay small for a long time. I worked at an elementary school. I got to watch some kids get fucking huge and some kids stay the exact same height for a number of years. Shit happens, and Connie's kind of presumptuous for thinking something's wrong with him. Not to mention, girls start getting taller before boys do. That's normal. I guess nobody taught that to Connie or Steven or even Greg. I keep missing this one, but there's a KK slider poster in Greg's van. And someone's gonna have to tell me if this one's a reference to something. I don't know.
I mean, I've known the Gems since I was 22 and they never changed.
Oh fuck, more timeline shit. Greg was 22 when he was touring and met Rose Quartz. I'm not sure how much time passed between then and when Steven was born, but it's another anchor in this show's history.
But Steven's not like the other gems. He's half human. So I'm not really sure how he's gonna age. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Greg's take is totally reasonable here, and I think Connie gets it. Steven blows this out of proportion for some reason. I kinda get it though, he's a teenager, he wants to be seen as more mature, but this time physically. Unlike in season 1 when he wanted the gems to see him as more serious. We're long past that now. You can see the claw from Peridot's robot in this shot. She didn't disassemble it and it will appear later. This birthday regalia appeared in so many birthdays. That's probably obvious, but it's good continuity.
Wow.
Oh my!
Huh?
They use this reaction in so many promos. I'm gonna recognize less and less of the promo scenes as we get deeper into Steven Bomb territory. Actually, I think these episodes were part of one of the Steven Bombs. I always hated that release schedule. Man, he didn't even put on the birthday suit. Also, you may think that he's using his aging power, but this is probably just shapeshifting. He was able to stay different ages for a whole day without getting worn out. I mean, other than nearly dying of old age at 12.
Dude, your neck!
Oh, what about it?
You have one!
I remember this being quoted all the time when the movie was announced and we saw promotional art of older Steven with a neck. It was such a good meme.
So, you just grew all of a sudden?
I had a magical growth spurt just now. Cool, right?
Yeah, that checks out. Also, this is Zach Callison's normal voice. Reminder that he kept up the kid Steven voice all the way through season 5. Lions in the background not being a MacGuffin this episode? Weird.
Oh, a new shirt. What a pretty color.
Try it on!
Connie sucks at gifts. Should've got him a book, it's so obvious.
Connie, let me.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Steven.
No problem, Connie.
I think it's about time I say it. Tall Steven is uncanny as fuck throughout this episode. The way he talks, the way he acts, it all seems so fake. I understand that's the point, that it's all fake, but it's kinda creepy and unsettling.
Oh no.
This has gotta be horribly painful. Like breaking every bone in your arm painful. Maybe it does break his bones, but he's also got healing powers constantly repairing them. Like Wolverine. I don't think Steven can die. Kind of a weird time to bring that up, but it's a headcanon that I've had forever. I like to see Pearl and Amethyst just straight up enjoying themselves sometimes, without being at each other's throats.
You should sneak me into a PG-13 movie sometime.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I would never ask you to break the law.
Contrary to seemingly a lot of people's beliefs, movie and video game and TV ratings have nothing to do with the law. They're ratings that filmmakers voluntarily have applied to their movies so theaters can voluntarily use them as a baseline for what age groups can enter a movie. Theaters don't have to adhere to these ratings. I think a crowdsourced rating system would be way more effective than these anyway.
Excuse me for a moment, Connie. I'm gonna go freshen up.
Wait, do they have plumbing out here? Is there a well or a septic tank on this property? There's no house, and not every barn I've been in has water. When Steven goes to freshen up in normal circumstances, does he have anywhere to do that? I don't even remember seeing an outhouse anywhere.
Oh, jeez. If I can just keep this up for the rest of my life, no one will suspect a thing.
I love this moment so much. If this show was on Adult Swim, Greg and Amethyst would definitely be packing a bong instead.
What are you doing?
Well, what are you doing?
What are you doing to your body?
Greg is definitely reasonably concerned here. Last time Steven did any shapeshifting, he turned into a John Carpenter cat monster. The gems weren't there for that, and I bet Greg still has nightmares about it. Point on the weird proportions throughout the episode, Amethyst's head is fucking huge in this shot. And she has no chin.
Because, Dad, I can't stay a kid forever. When Connie grows up and becomes president, what is that gonna make me? First boy?
This is the best line in the whole episode. Maybe like top 10 Steven lines in the whole show. There's so much packed into one sentence. The assumption that they're gonna get married, the assumption that Connie will be president. I feel like dissecting the joke is gonna kill it, so I'm gonna move on before that happens.
You can't just keep stretching forever. If you hold it too long, you could really hurt yourself.
This episode does set up this detail that is the basis of an episode in season 3. Weird how different that episode is from this one despite having almost the exact same obstacle. I know I showed that image earlier, but Big Head Connie in motion is so much worse. It takes me out of the scene so badly.
Get it? Now you make one up.
Okay, that one's, snake constellation.
One of those stars is the Sneeple homeworld.
Steven?
Alright, this is Steven's aging power. Another point on Steven being unable to die. When he gets too old, he can just turn back his clock, right? Healing plus age control equals immortal Steven. Someone verify my math on that one. Man, I fucking hate crying babies in media. You know that sound that all humans are biologically hardwired to find unpleasant and impossible to ignore? Yeah, let's put that in our cartoon that's supposed to be fun and entertaining. This episode was already uncomfortable, but the rest of this scene is uncomfortable for a totally unrelated reason. First we had big head Amethyst, now we have small head Amethyst. Ugh.
How can the gems not know what to do?
You can hardly hear it in this scene over the talking and crying, but Greg's playing Let Me Drive My Van Into Your Heart. Man, that's a throwback.
Don't worry, Steven. It doesn't matter to me what age it seems like you are. I want to hang out with you no matter what.
I do like the message in this episode, that being friends with someone doesn't hinge on how old you are. I mean, to an extent, obviously. There are laws about that sort of thing. But when you're younger, age seems like a much bigger social factor than it actually is. When I was younger, I felt like such a big deal to be friends with someone even a year younger or older than me. And by the time I got into college, I was getting along with people 10, 20, 30 years older than me. I don't think you can really learn that lesson until you experience it firsthand, though.
What's up, Amethyst?
Baby Steven needs changing.
Amethyst as the car seat is a good gag. It's not totally obvious throughout the scene, so it got a good laugh out of me the first time around. No notes.
Steven, you've got something on your cheek.
Huh? It's a facial hair!
Facial hair continuity is pretty sparse for the rest of the show. Steven doesn't grow anymore until Future, when he yet again ages up magically. Speaking of continuity, when did this silo first appear? It actually did appear earlier in this episode, but it was mostly blocked by Steven's leg. There were a ton of other shots that probably should have had it in view, but didn't. Was it not there in previous episodes, or am I just blind and stupid? You know, I don't use the word mid, like ever, but that's how I would describe this episode. There's no reason for me to call it a bad episode, it's fine, but it's also not that great. Nothing stands out in this one, other than the first boy joke. Again, that's one of my favorite jokes in the series. I feel it's impossible to do a recap on this one. It's so middle of the road that I almost don't have an opinion on it. I suppose this is an episode that highlights Steven's insecurity about fitting in as a human. That's one of his biggest character flaws. He either gets too deep on the gem side or too deep on the human side and becomes insecure when he can't fit in with both. Watching a character be insecure doesn't always make for great television, though. This video is sponsored by nobody. Seriously, I turned down a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship last week. Instead, it's supported by my patrons, who get to see new videos from me a week before they premiere on YouTube. Most of all from my Grandmaster patron, Scala LD, Grandmaster of the Clearance Aisle. Everything they ever need to buy is on clearance somehow. And to my master patrons, Anderson Hope, Master of Field Sobriety Tests. They just don't drink and drive. And Geeky Game Guru, Master of Ripping Perforated Paper. Perfect, clean rips every time. And shoutouts to my journeyman patrons, Alicia, Henri Wickers, Bippy121, Bob the Turtle 352, Boomblorp, Bright Galaxy, Cool Waffle, Dr. Moon, Fiorlin, Fox Certified, GPW, Glingle123, Horsey Jumper. It would have been cooler if Steven actually aged up throughout the series. Castrol, Lazarus, Loga, Max Buchek, Netabag, Pichu, Raphael Williams, Roberty, Sam Bishop, Silly Alien Lady, The Cloaked Goat, The One True Fusion, Wingo Dingo, Yotawo, and ZT the Fish Guy. Next episode is It Could Have Been Great, getting back into Peridot's character arc.